All right, so here we're at my friend's house to check out his aquarium empire. That's pretty impressive.
So yeah,
So what are these?
these fish are from a. Oh, is this poop? Okay, I see. So these fish are from somebody I found locally here that has a bunch of wild fish from South America.
Okay.
And you can order wild fish, which is separately than just what you buy in a store.
Yeah.
And they breed them, so he had a bunch. So I was able to find the aquariums for like, free or $20 on Craigslist. I bought the pumps for $20-$30 on Amazon sale. The most expensive thing here is probably the plants.
Wow.
Probably the plants are like, $50-$100. All the fish is free. The aquarium's cheap. Everything there's the sponge filters like $5-$10. The pumps are also like, $15. So really cheap aquarium setup. I got all the fish are free there. I just bought some cleaning fish.
Cleaning fish, is it?
Yeah, those are like algae eaters. They're called autosynclonuses, and you can't really see them. There's like 3-4 in each one of them, and they just clean algae and leaves and stuff. And these are like, besides those, all of them are wild fish.
Wild fish, okay.
And there's tetras, different kinds of tetras actually. There's the red, the black, and then there's some pencil fish. There's a couple of other interesting fish here. So in the upper aquarium, they're really old fish. You can see how different they are.
In the upper
See
one,
how
huh?
you can see the smaller one in the bottom, bigger one on top, mostly. And I had it for about 4 or 5 months. I added some driftwood, figured out how to get deals on those, and trying to create an ecosystem here. That's the whole point. But it's hard to create an ecosystem here because there's a lot of fish.
Yeah.
And they poop a lot, they eat a lot, and so I have to clean these probably more.
All the
Here's
time.
like an autosynchronous. There's one example. They like the driftwood, and usually you have to have they suck on it or whatever.
Yeah.
With their suckers, because they're like. That's that.
Very cool. Okay, here we're
So
at the
this
good
here
one.
is a quarantine tank. It started as a quarantine tank. Also, you got either free or $10 on the Craigslist. Pump is $20-something. The heaters are like $10 on sale. Just cheap aquarium. Trying to put it together. And normally, what I started with this is to put fish. When you buy fish, you have to quarantine them.
Okay.
So that way that they don't get other fish sick. So I started.
Wow,
You see all the
interesting.
beautiful fish. You can get closer.
Yeah.
Beautiful colors. Unfortunately, a lot of it, like a good portion when you buy them in the store, will die from disease or water or whatever. And these are the ones that survived that didn't die.
Okay.
But I had maybe 5-6 fish died that I got there, and I have these big aquariums, so I'm going to move those in those bigger aquariums and then still make a small one for quarantine. Because best practice is when you get something, you want to keep it 2 to 4 weeks out of it. If they get sick, you got to treat them.
Okay.
But these fish have been here for most of all of them, have been there at least a month. And you can see the beautiful colors.
Yeah.
And it's very
It's
risky
very beautiful, yeah.
to take one of those and put them in the
In the
other
other,
tanks, because if there's
it's a
any disease,
danger.
you can wipe out the whole tank.
Wow.
Because the wild ones are not, they have different body and different water parameters, different everything, different breeds. And again, you add a lot of plants.
Yeah.
And this tank has smaller fish and not too many. It's still kind of medium-wise, but it's important to have oxidization, the filters. And I have a beta fish here. It's a gold beta. It's pretty cool. You only have one of them. So most of my tanks have one beta fish.
Wow. All right.
Separate. See how pretty? Just look at the pretty
Very
colors.
beautiful.
These are
Yeah,
probably
it's
one of the most beautiful ones I have.
incredible. Incredible. Yeah.
They're mostly guppies, and then there's like emperor tetras, black tetras, and there's a couple autosynchronuses there as well. But mostly endlers and guppies are in that tank.
Wow, very beautiful.
So here we have some mollies and platies and some festuvium. Those are like the main fish with a few cleaner fish. And there's one beta, the blue one, that's pretty cool. And you can see this is a Hellstream loach.
Hellstream loach.
Yeah. And then this is a Pandagara. They're like good. They're expensive. They're like $10
Each.
to clean a fish. And one of these blues, I think these are platies. They had babies yesterday. We tried to get the babies, but we couldn't catch them. So I think they ate them all.
Wow.
Like they're all stuffed from eating fish.
Oh my
But
goodness.
this is another tank where I got a few fish, kind of like quarantine.
Yes.
Make sure they're doing well. I had, the fish die. Like I had 2 or 3 of the festuvium die because one fish was picking on them.
Yes.
And I couldn't figure out why they're dying, and it's because they was bullying him and they just got sick and died. And the other one had this weird disease called head in the hole in the head, where there's just a hole appears in the head and it dies. It's weird. I mean, there's so many diseases here.
Yikes.
But this is also trying to add more plants. There's driftwood, and this tank has been pretty healthy, except these big festulium are a little bit finicky sometimes. But there may be a few little baby fish there. I just can't. They're super hard to see, and they definitely get eaten up because almost any fish here can eat them, and they're so afraid they can't catch them, and there's many places to hide. So I spent half an hour trying to catch a couple last night, and I just couldn't catch them. So just like whatever, I just threw some of the Java moss and guppy grass where they can potentially hide, and if they survive a couple of weeks, they'll live. But it's highly unlikely they will. There's too many fish in here; they can all eat them.
Okay. Wow.
So you can get a kit like this for $100. It has everything. Then you go to Home Depot, buy some gravel, sand, not gravel. Sand. Gravel's bad. And you clean up the sand. Just run hot water through it, through like a string or whatever. And you want it kind of dirty, but not too dirty. And then you just put a layer of pebbles, or you can put they have the marble rocks and stuff like that. Like you'll see in some of the aquariums.
And then it's ready.
You don't want to use white sand or crystalline. You want to have dirt, and you can use dirt. You can go to like a creek somewhere that's clean and get some dirt and put. That's the best thing to put, because there's minerals and nutrients and bacteria that's going to be developing, and you can see that in some of the aquariums. There's bacteria in that's healthy, that's good to promote that, and it creates a good ecosystem.
Wow.
And yeah, you don't want to do like this, all the fake stuff. They want to sell you all the fake stuff because they make money, but it's not realistic and good. There's too many fish on there. That's not how to do it. But so, this is a good starter kit. You can get them for $100. You can get small ones for $50, $60. That has everything. This you can get on sale from $70 to $100 as well. That's separate. And then what I like is you can put other tanks below there. I'll show you the other one I do. And that's kind of everybody, because you have 3 tanks in one place with different sizes, different fish. It's pretty cool.
Oh, very cool.
And you get these. So this is a platinum beta. You can only have one beta in tank because they fight, and it's a very wonderful fish.
Oh, it's very beautiful.
Very beautiful, playful, and very, very nice fish. I really like this guy. He's just so beautiful. And then our plan is down the road to like breed it with another one, because you can breed them pretty easily if you know what you're doing. But then you get hundreds of them. But like to maintain the strain, because it's beautiful fish.
Wow, very
healthy, very beautiful. And it's not pure white, but the pure whites are also nice. But this one has a little bit of red and bluish. It's like a little angel.
Oh, very
then it has a bunch of plants and some snails there. So again, it's good for them.
They love that habitat, huh?
Yeah. So this is like a fry tank. This is where all the baby fry go, and you can see some are getting bigger.
It's tiny babies.
And yeah, like these, I gotta get them in another tank. I just didn't get to it, but there's a few bigger fish here.
Yeah.
So the smaller ones, they're super tiny. You can look in the corner there. They just got born yesterday. We saved it. There's a couple in the back. Incredible. But they don't eat each other.
Yeah.
And they have a place to hide with the grass, and it's easy to feed and maintain. So as soon as we get babies, they end up here, so they don't eat them.
Wow.
And you can see there's different kinds. Like, look at this blue one. This was just a white little fry.
Yeah, look at that.
Yep. So,
looks like a neon.
Yeah.
Almost.
So we got about, I don't know, 50 to 80 maybe small fish, just for fun.
Oh, fantastic.
And then most of them survive. Very few die, and then we just train different tank until we get to the big tank.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. So this tank here is like an example of a really, really good tank. I'm still experimenting with plants, so you can see some are kind of get yellow, and then the leaves die off when you put plants in usually, and then they grow again. Yeah. But there's a couple of nubiases, a couple of swords, just a couple of random plants, Java moss. You can kind of go around it from this way. And I play with this, and I rarely change the water in this one. Okay. It's extremely rare, and the fish are doing really good. And there's different kind of fish. It's an ecosystem. So super low maintenance. You just top off the water, and like I said, you have the sand, and you have some rocks, and some driftwood, and the fish love it, and they live a long time, and they have places to hide, and there's a little bit of floating plants, and like this is a very there's really old fish, and they're really cool. So so my goal is to build. This is a 20-gallon. I'm going to build a 55-gallon like this. Wow. The same principle. That's the one I bought. Awesome. So these are like they've grown bigger. So they're like baby fries. Now they're bigger fish. You can look at different colors. They're very friendly because they're domesticated and stuff. But they're They're getting ready. This is like in between going into a big tank. They go here,
Yeah.
and you can put a lot of them in here. They're super low maintenance. They're very happy, and you can see the different colors. They were all like clear, and now they're turning reddish, pinkish. You can see the different beautiful colors. So the goal here is, at this point, is I need to separate males from females
Mm-hmm.
and put them into different tanks. And I put like the females with like neons and other fish that are like, you know, not gonna mess with them.
Yes.
And there's like, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 there, small ones.
That's amazing.
You know, all over the place. And I have probably,
It's
you know,
super active too.
super active, super fun. And it's cool to see that in an aquarium. You have a bunch of fish that are active and healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys are doing well.
And again, you gotta have that moss. There's some moss and guppy grass and different floating leaves and porwort for them to hide and feel safe or
Mhm.
you poke around. Because they're not, you know, I gotta bring from the other tank I showed you before, I gotta put some fish in here.
Yeah.
And they gotta, when you bring in fish, they gotta feel safe and everything. Here it has the experimental tank. Most of the fish are big fish.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few small redfish, like cherry barbs, I think they are, or tetras. I have to take them out. But you know, look at how big these are. Blood parrots. They're
Blood parrots.
Yeah, most of the fish here are semi-aggressive. They're nippy, fin
Mhm.
nippers, or semi-aggressive. So most of them, and just clean fish.
Oh.
And
They don't eat the cleaning fish, huh? Or
They don't eat
they
what?
don't attack the cleaning fish.
no, cleaning fish are kind of special. Like nobody messes with them because their shape and everything. But if they die or something, or like if any fish isn't defending themselves, they'll
Yeah.
eat it. Like
Oh,
or
okay.
and same thing with the scalars,
Mm-hmm.
scalars, whatever. They'll do the same thing. They'll go and eat other fish, and they're very aggressive. You have the autosynchronous there, and this tank is, you know, under development. It's a test tank.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the big ones. They're pretty fun. But I'm trying to grow big plants, and I got some bacteria. It's called cyanobacteria.
Mm-hmm.
I had to treat it with. Then here's a beta here. He hangs out on the top. He looks like he's dead, but if you go up here, you'll see it. There's like a
Oh
little
yeah,
beta.
he just kind of
He
above
just-
the plants.
Yeah, he
huh?
just hangs out there.
Yeah, sure. That's
Because
true.
he rests on plants.
Yeah. Why does he do that?
Because they're
That's
top
interesting.
fish, so it's the
Ah, on the
big
surface, huh?
Yeah, so having a big aquarium like this is not good for them because they
Ah.
breathe air.
They breathe air.
They
wow.
breathe air. They need air to survive. Well, all fish need air, but some fish can just get it from water,
Yeah.
whereas some fish need to, you know,
Occasionally
go.
go to the surface.
Yes.
Huh? That's amazing, man. Wow.
So that fish has to go to the surface all the time. So if it doesn't last long. But because I have these,
Mhm.
I developed a system so it can hang on these plants over here
Okay.
and these
yeah.
plants over here because they're big plants and doesn't have to go down. So that way that fish almost never goes down. It always hangs on top, and it has a little house here. It's a little log.
Yeah.
He'll hang
That's
out
it.
there.
Yeah, and that floats.
And it floats.
It's amazing, man.
So it's very challenging because all these fish nip on each other. So that's what irony is.
Yeah.
The scalars pick on scalars. The blood parrots pick on blood parrots. The barbs pick on barbs. The yo-yo loaches pick on yo-yo loaches. The black tetras pick on black tetras. They pick on each other. They don't pick, you know, they don't pick other fish. It's really weird. It's rare that they pick other fish.
Wow.
So this tank is an experimental tank. What I try to do is called a sorority tank with female betas.
Mhm.
And I had maybe 20 female betas in here, and all of them died.
Oh.
And I just could not make it work. So the only ones left, I have a male in there now,
Mhm.
and there's one cleaning fish. Is like, for whatever reason, all the beta fish die. That's and I got it from different places. The male ones, very rare they die, and depending on where I get them from, they are better, like different breed or whatever. They last a long time.
Yeah.
So I got like this is a whole empty tank here. It's an established tank. See all the greens in there. There's different types of swords and anubias and like leafy plants.
Yeah.
I need to add some more plants, but it's not the best because I think what I found, ironically, if you use white sand,
Mhm.
I think it's processed. It's like beach sand or it's like cleaned up. There's no nutrients in there,
Okay.
and I think it doesn't create bacteria in ecosystem. Where the plants live off is only the top layer with the gravel and everything.
Yeah.
So I eventually need to change something about it, but you know, in the meantime, you know, it's an established tank, so I just keep it. I got to do something.
Wow. Okay.
So this one is that this one has it's funny. It has the neon tetras.
Neon tetras.
Yeah, neon fish, and these fish. I don't think a single has fish died here with these neon tetras. They're just fine.
They're very resilient, huh?
Very resilient. And then what I have is I have a couple of female guppies and one male guppy. I had a couple of males that were not doing too good, so I put them in here, and you can see some fry here in the corner. If you go like right here, look, there's baby fish. You gotta go from this angle. I don't know if you can see it in the moss there. You probably can't. It's hard to catch the camera, but there's some baby fish there. So what I'm gonna end up doing is most of the female fish that are live bearers are gonna end up in this tank with the neons.
Yeah.
Because neons have small mouth.
Okay.
And if I happen to have a fry, if somebody's pregnant, which is what happened here recently,
Yeah.
and you can tell like this one gave birth because it's a flat stomach, and this is a male. It's a beautiful male, but it's very rare. It's from a strain I had. I had a red one and a blue one like that.
Yes.
So I've been breeding with these fish so they have babies because they may not last long. But these I'm gonna probably put in them. These are very beautiful in a bigger tank.
Wow. Yeah.
And they go great with guppies and other things. And this is a good ecosystem. I have good sand here, a little gravel. There's a few plants. I can put more plants in here.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to multiply the plants because they grow, and then you can snip them, or they have different strains. You see the little ones.
Yes.
So I'm gonna be doing that here soon and redoing the tanks. Maybe come do another video when this finishes. It's gonna be like a piece of art. Because all these are experimental tanks.
Yeah.
And to figure out what works, and I got a lot of it figured out. So,
oh, fantastic, man.
and I can tell you that the system I'm using is you have a hang in a back filter that has a sponge, and you have a little sponge that's in front, and sponge is important. Then you have just a sponge filter. You have a heater, and this heater is really good because you can put it lower in the tank, so when you change water, you have to turn off the heater or anything. And then the third thing is you have plants.
Yeah.
You need to have floating plants. Like if you look on top, you look at the floating plants. There's a lot of them, right? That's good. There's different types of floating plants, and don't drop it, man. And these are pretty cool because they consume nitrates and stuff like that. And these are all cheap. This is $10 on Craigslist, everything. So those are the main filters. So you filter the water with two different things. I usually top them off and then once a month maybe or so I change just a little bit of the water from each tanks with reverse osmosis or treated tap water here.
Yeah.
And I try to not use a lot of tap water. I use a lot of reverse osmosis and a little bit of tap water, and the fish seem to like it, seem to be happy. And if the fish live and I don't change anything, they've been living fine.
Yeah. Wow. Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's just impressive. True aquarium empire there.
No, you'll come again. I had more, but like, you'll come again. We'll change it.
Thank you.